The series of successful North Korean missile tests has demonstrated its growing power and expertise, stoking tensions with the U.S. The developments have been rapid. It conducted its largest nuclear test to date on September 3rd and flew its second ballistic missile of the year over Japan on September 15th. Here's what you need to know about the North's weapons program and military forces, and the South Korean and American forces in the region which could be involved should conflict occur. Several missile tests in 2017 suggest that North Korea is successfully developing missiles with the potential to strike long-range targets, including possibly on the U.S. mainland. In May 2017, North Korea test-fired the Hwasong-12 missile, which analysts believe could have a range of up to 500 kilometers, putting U.S. military bases on the Pacific island of Guam well within striking distance. But two tests in July of the Hwasong-14 missile demonstrated even greater potential, possibly giving North Korea its first truly intercontinental ballistic missile ICBM. Analysts believe this missile could be a two-stage version of the Hwasong-12 and may have a possible range of more than 10,000 kilometers, allowing it to hit New York. In August 2017, the second missile test of the Hwasong-12 traveled over Japan, the first time a ballistic missile has flown over the territory and what described as an unprecedented threat. This was repeated on September 15th with a missile that flew a greater distance and reached a higher altitude than the August test, demonstrating an improvement in range for the missile. The apparent successes of all these tests, in contrast to the multiple failures of the earlier Musudan missiles, have raised questions as to how North Korea's missile program has improved so rapidly. Michael Element from the International Institute for Strategic Studies at ISS suggests that Pyongyang may have acquired high-performance liquid propellant engines from illicit networks in Russia and Ukraine. Pyongyang has also previously displayed two other purported ICBMs, known as the KN-08 and KN-14. Neither has yet been tested, and the relationship between them and the Hwasongs-12 and 14 is not yet clear. In another development, American military intelligence now believes that North Korea has also now successfully miniaturized a nuclear warhead to fit inside a missile. North Korea's September 3rd nuclear test was by far the biggest of 6 nuclear tests carried out since 2006, analysts concluded. The test triggered a 6.3 magnitude earthquake, 10 times more powerful than that recorded in a previous test in September 2016. Estimates of the latest device's explosive power, or yield, ranged from 100,370 kilotons. A yield of 100 kilotons would make the test 6 times more power than bomb dropped on Hiroshima in 1945. North Korea claims this test was its first thermonuclear weapon, the most potent form of nuclear weapon where an atomic detonation is boosted by a secondary fusion process to produce a far bigger blast. Pyongyang started its nuclear program in the 1980s. Its first nuclear test, of a device yielding a suspected 0.7 kT, was held in 2006. Military forces. Although North Korea's military budget is unknown, the regime policy known as Song-and prioritizes spending on the armed forces over all other aspects of government. Although North Korea has one of the largest standing armies in the world, but much of its equipment is old and obsolete. Despite this, its conventional forces could still inflict massive damage on South Korea should war break out. In addition to a standing army of more than 1 million, and estimated reserves of some 5 million, North Korea also has around 200,000 Special Forces troops. These Special Forces could be expected to infiltrate South in any conflict, potentially exploiting a semi-secret network of 20 to 25 large tunnels which span the demilitarized zone and the emerging behind South Korean and American forward lines. The further potent threat comes from thousands of North Korean artillery pieces and rocket launchers deployed along the border, many dug into reinforced concrete positions. From here the North could unleash crude yet devastating firepower on South Korea, including the capital Seoul, which is well within range. While South Korea would rely heavily on American assistance in the event of war, South Korean President Moon Jae-in has recently signaled he plans to increase military spending. American forces in South Korea and the wider region. The United States has had military presence on the Korean Peninsula since the Korean War, and today South Korea has the third highest deployment of American troops anywhere in the world. Some 28,000 U.S. troops are stationed across South Korea, the ISS estimates, including almost 9,000 Air Force personnel. In addition, the U.S. has some 300 1 Abrams tanks and armored vehicles deployed. The U.S. has also installed its DHA-80 missile defense system at Seongju in South Korea, which would be used to shoot down North Korean short and medium-range missiles in the event of war. In the wider region, Japan hosts more U.S. forces than any other nation on Earth, with some 47,050 deployed, according to the IISS, the majority being naval personnel. Yokosuka in Japan is the headquarters of the U.S. 7th Fleet, which typically has around 20 ships deployed, including the only permanently forward-deployed aircraft carrier strike group led by the USS Ronald Reagan. Significant U.S. forces are also present on the island of Guam, which is sometimes described as a permanent aircraft carrier. Andersen Air Base on Guam hosts the 36th Wing, which operates America's three strategic bomber types, the B-52, B-1B Lancer, and B-2 Spirit. In March, it was reported that the U.S. Air Force had deployed an additional 12 B-52s and 12 B-1B aircraft to reinforce its presence on Guam. North Korea has threatened to fire missiles at the waters around Guam. In response, it said to the U.S. flying bomber aircraft over the Korean peninsula.